So today we're going to be looking at the London Aquatics Centre by Zaha Hadid Architects. The Aquatic Centre for the 2012 London Olympics was a Hadid building. It's really curvaceous, it's a really interesting form. It was, as far as I'm aware, pretty challenging, no doubt over budget. I'm not a massive fan typically of Zaha Hadid's work. I find it super complex. It just seems that it's the most complex solution to a problem. But this one I think is absolutely beautiful. If you're doing a swimming pool, you're looking for a massive clear span because you can't have structure in the middle of the pool. You can't expect people to swim around columns, can you, in a race? You're looking for a really elegant solution to a huge clear span building. And I think this does, and it works really well, and there's something sinuous about it where, you know, it looks like water, and that's the way you get something that big with so much steel in it and such complexity in structure, but to look light and elegant and like it's moving. And I think there's something really interesting about that. There's the whole idea of the form, you know, is it, you can guess these, is it meant to look like kind of someone in front crawl? Is it meant to look like that kind of shape? It's quite ambiguous, but all of the things that it kind of gets related to they're all about movement, and capturing movement in a static building is really challenging, but I think it works really well here. Yeah, those themes and motifs are things, they're things like movement, they're things like energy. There's a sense of drama. You know, you think it's an aquatic centre, but it's effectively a major stadium. It's just a stadium that instead of having a pitch is full of water, isn't it? So it's about drama, it's about kind of user experience, it's about the noise when you're inside it, it's about also the silence when, you know, that moment when the kind of starter's pistol goes and everyone dives in, and there's that hushed moment, and you want to hear that through the whole place, wherever you're sitting. And that combination of energy, again, motion, fluidity, I think it's a really interesting thing to do because it's not a typical kind of building program. It's not an office that needs to accommodate a certain number of people. It's for a very specific task. And ultimately, yes, there's a legacy element because it's still in use, but the real initial point of these is all about the drama of the Olympics. Once you move away from that initial sketch, once you move away from the initial kind of beautiful freehand drawing which encapsulates what you're going to do, it all moves to being about how people use and interact with the building, how people interface with it. And acoustics are massive, you know. The point is, it's about creating a space where you as a spectator, as a fan, are actively part of it. You feel as engaged as the people on the pitch, for instance. And part of that's about the noise. You know, you'll hear athletes talking about the noise on the pitch or the noise when they're, you know, on the running track. And part of it's that they get a boost, they get that feel. But part of it's about the fans benefiting from the noise and the excitement so that they're more engaged and they're more involved. You're building something with a legacy in mind that can continue to operate, but never at the same capacity. So the Aquatic Centre had temporary wings for additional seating. So when you saw it on the TV, when you watched the 2012, it looks different from the way it looks now, because they had additional seating in it for that one occasion, because you don't want that many spectators when you're in a swimming pool doing your laps and your lengths in the morning, really, do you? It's not that kind of thing. And that's one of the lessons we've learned about, you know, the integration of permanent and temporary. But a lot of that was learned through events like the Olympics. So there's a lot of challenges in these kind of buildings. Yeah, so Zaha Hadid's known for these really complex forms. Long before we were all talking about AI and its impact on the industry, they were involved in really complex three-dimensional modelling and the kind of interplay of surface, you know, what's a floor, what's a wall, what's a ceiling, things that bend, loop around each other. They did really angular buildings too in that mix, but they've always been really, really sculptural, really visual, really impactful, like them or loathe them. You know, they did the Transport Museum in Glasgow, which again is this really kind of, it's quite angular, but it's really sinuous as well. So it splits into lots of different elements and it bends and it's got really complex structure. So it's kind of how they build and how they design.